Hi David, how are you today?
Hello Mary, how you doing?
Good. I'm Mary Maranville and it is July and I am in Somis with David Martinez from Mars Farms, and he is the Chief Financial Officer. It's not every day that I get to speak to a Chief Financial Officer, but you also know a lot about the whole business and every aspect of the business. What can you tell us about Mars Farms?
Yes, well, you know, as in any family business, titles are not very important. I mean, I'm supposed to be the Chief Financial Officer, but I'm involved in the operation as well. So it is a very pragmatic and hands-on operation, so that's why I'm mentioning about the titles. It's just a title sometimes for legal purposes.
Right. So what can you tell us about Mars Farms?
Well, Mars Farms, we've been in it's a family business, family-owned business. We've been farming for about 20 years, raspberries. At the beginning, it was a small operation.
20 years, wow.
Yes, very small at the beginning. It was my older brothers used to work for a berry company. They got the opportunity to start with a very small acreage back in the early 90s. And with like 2 acres at the beginning, they began farming and they've been growing. We've been adding more acreage every year.
So 2 years in the beginning, and how many acres do you farm now?
We farm close to 2,000 acres.
2,000. And is that all raspberries?
No, it's just raspberries, strawberries, and a little bit of blueberries. At this point, we're trying some blueberries.
Okay, I'll ask you about the blueberries in a minute, but we're standing in front of gorgeous raspberry vines. And can you tell us about the variety that we're looking at and how they're grown, and why do they have to have this cover?
This is one of our good varieties, Maravilla, and
Maravilla?
Maravilla. Mm-hmm. And it is it's one of our best varieties. We need the hoop houses to protect them from the wind. You know, as you can imagine, it is a very perishable commodity, and with wind, with rain, you know, we wouldn't be able to produce this.
So this protects them from wind and rain and direct sunlight? Does it help?
That is correct. Also direct sunlight. You know, this plastic is engineered to diffuse the light. So as the light hits the plastic, it diffuses the light into, and it's creates better conditions for the plant.
David, when you say that this is one of your best varieties, Maravilla, what do you mean by best?
By best, we identify a good variety with, first of all, appearance, flavor, yield, and it has to be able to ship in good condition. Mm-hmm. So shelf life is also important. So this variety has all those components, so that's why it's a good variety.
Yes, I'm noticing how big these are. They're really gorgeous. They're a little bit not quite ripe yet, but they're really gorgeous. I'm going to pick this one right now. You can see how gorgeous they are. And you are growing these hydroponically. Why is this an advantage as opposed to putting the vines in the soil?
This is an advantage. As we know, we have different challenges on the farming industry. Fumigation, it's one of them. With hydroponics, with substrate hydroponics, we don't have to use fumigation.
What kind of hydroponics?
It's substrate. That's what we call it. So it's just cocoa fiber.
Cocoa fiber, okay.
Cocoa fiber is what we use for the media. We don't have to irrigate as much. So we use way less water because as you can see,
it's contained in the plastic.
So all the water and all the nutrients can go directly into the plant, as opposed to the open field in which we have way more variables playing into the whole equation. So here we can really focus everything that we need to do to the plant just directly to the roots. Okay.
And I'm noticing that these vines are so big and tall. How many years are your plants, have they been here, and how long will they last?
We planted them in 2011. It will last this year. I think this is the last crop for this.
So how many picks did you get off of these?
We get 4.
4 picks off of one vine.
Yes.
And is there a season for raspberries?
Definitely. Summer is always. Actually, this area in Ventura County, probably a few areas in the world that we can produce 52 weeks out of the year.
You can produce 52 weeks.
Yes.
And these look like they're just getting ready to be harvested.
Yes, exactly. We're harvesting actually already. We harvest once we start producing. We harvest for about a month, 2 months, depending on the time of the year, and we harvest every other day.
How many picks did you say you'll get off these vines?
We get 4 picks for the life of the plant.
4 picks.
Yes, so every pig consists of about 1 to 2 months, depending on the time of the year, and we harvest like every other day, about every other day for about a month, and then that's four times during the life of the plant, which is about 2 years. So almost every 6 months we get to harvest this
Yeah,
plant.
every other day. It makes sense because you've got some here that
Right.
are not ripe at all, and then some that are just almost there. So that's why the every other day.
Exactly. So,
Okay.
so some varieties actually are more sensitive, so we have to pick them every day. But that has been challenging. As you can imagine, it's much easier to just pick them when we have a lot of berries on the plant.
And what is the ripe time from? I'm noticing you've got blossoms here. How long does it take to go from blossom to harvested raspberry?
It is about 4 weeks.
4 weeks. Okay,
weeks.
that's quick.
Yeah, it's fairly quick. Yes.
As opposed to a lemon, which takes 9 months. So
Yeah.
that's fairly quick. And I'm going to try one of your raspberries. And
Sure.
oh my God, really very delicious. And so you supply a distributor, or do you sell direct to grocery stores? Where can we find your berries?
This it is Driscoll strawberries.
Driscoll's,
Driscoll
okay.
strawberries. We work with them exclusively. You know, we don't grow for anybody else. We just grow for Driscoll's, and we have a good partnership with Driscoll's.
And how long have you been working for Driscoll's? The whole 20 years?
Since the beginning, 20 years.
Wonderful. So you must have a very strong relationship with them.
We do.
That's wonderful. And they ship all over the world, don't they?
Yes.
So your berries are not only, you can not only find their berries locally, but you could probably find them in Europe as well. Does that give you a good feeling to know that your product is sold all over the world and you're helping
Yes.
feed other countries?
Yes, definitely. We export all over the U.S., but also to Europe and Japan. Yes, and actually it has been interesting to find some of our berries in New York, for instance. You know, sometimes we work very close with Driscoll's, and we travel to the stores and see our product, and we're able to identify our product from which ranch one was picked. They have a pretty impressive traceability system. So we've been able to find our berries from our ranches in St. Louis, Missouri, for instance.
Wow.
So that is very interesting.
That's really wonderful. And your raspberries in general, the nutritional value is very high. They have a lot of antioxidants, vitamin C, and now they're #2 crop. Why do you think they've gone from way down on the list to #2?
People are starting to get to know the raspberries, so the demand it's been increasing. Also, the nutritional value, there's more awareness of the nutritional value of raspberries. Blueberries is considered a superfood. It's in the group of the superfood. So,
Right.
so it is a very healthy product, a very tasty product. So it's a fun product to work with. You know, we feel that we're producing something that people enjoy.
Right.
And so
Who doesn't enjoy raspberries and strawberries? And that's when I tell the kids, I explain to the Ventura County students that as we, as consumers, learn more and more about nutrition, we want to eat better, and that includes strawberries and raspberries, and that's why you see those come up the ladder in the crops of Ventura County. And kale and all the greens are now on the list too, because people are eating more kale than they've ever eaten before. So nutrition is important. Is there anything else you want to tell us about your farm, about raspberries, about who else works with you? I mean, how many employees do you have at Mars?
Yes, well, at Mars, you know, we grow the four berries, and you know, we also, another important aspect of our farm is that we grow a lot of organic. We actually at this location we have a trial that we're trying in substrate, growing organic, and on the open field it's a bit challenging. Has been a bit challenging, but organic is an important part of our operation. We farm about 30 to 40% of our production it's organic. So
Okay.
it's been an interesting.
And is that growing every year?
That has been growing every year. Yeah, our first year with organic was only 2005.
Okay.
So now it's 30%. So it's been growing every year, and it's an interesting. It creates. It's just positive for our company. It's a good product. There's demand. It's a fun product. So it's definitely an area that we're focusing.
So next
now.
year, do you see yourself growing more organic?
We're trying. We have been having some challenges, but that's one of our focus. That's one of our segments that we're concentrating.
Okay, good. And how many employees work for you now?
For us, we can have up to 1,500 employees.
1,500. Wow. Okay. So going.
That is when we have the high season. You know, usually can be 1,000 to 1,500.
That must be such a great feeling. So you went from 2 acres to 3,000 acres, and now you've got 1,500 employees. So congratulations. You must feel really good.
Well, it's been challenging. It's been very challenging.
Farming is challenging.
That's
what every farm. But it's rewarding as well.
Definitely.
Okay. Well, your raspberries are delicious. And where can the audience go to find out more about Mars Farms? Do you have a website?
We have a website. It is marsfarms.com.
Marsfarms.com. And anything else you want to tell us today, or?
Well, I think we cover. Pretty much who we are and what we do.
Well, thank you, David. My
welcome.
pleasure. It was great meeting you.
It was great meeting you too.
Thank you. And we'll see you again next month in August.